Welcome back, everybody, to the Innovative Agency. Sharon Toerek here with you again today. And I'm kind of on a tear over the last couple of months talking to experts in the agency world about um, how things are evolving in terms of your relationships with your clients. We've talked a lot about AI, we've talked a lot about operational efficiencies and things like that. But I think, and I was just talking with today's guest for a second or two before we got on record about really the challenge of setting expectations properly with the client. And how do you communicate what metrics are going to really matter? Because one of the big issues that our clients come to us about or talk to us about at the firm, my law firm and my day job life, is keeping a client happy, avoiding losing a client. And it comes down, in my experience, to communication and expectations. So today's guest, I think, has some perspective on that, and I'm really excited to share it with all of you. So Justin, welcome. Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to share some
And
insights.
I'm looking forward to it too. All right, so you are the co-founder of SeedX, and SeedX is a growth marketing agency, works with clients internationally. And what are the other sorts of things that you do?
We specifically, actually, I would say like we focus in business development and we serve in business development with a core focus in marketing, sales, and then technology. And so if you are, yeah, with the ultimate goal, people are coming to us for growth, but usually it's one of those three areas that are like really stunting growth as long as like the rest of the operations of the organization is working. But hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. One of the things that I shared with you was that I think one of the reasons why we see churn, and churn is something that every agency I talk to would like to avoid, I think, right now. And one of the reasons we seem to see it is everybody's excited at the beginning of an agency client relationship, right? It's new, the possibilities are there and they're bright and vivid, but maybe the conversation doesn't go deeply enough in terms of the expectations or the measurements that everybody agrees are going to be used um, to evaluate the success of whatever work you all are doing together. So let's just start there. And I'd love to get your point of view or your experience around this. And what do you see out there? Some of the main reasons why um, metrics don't get met, or what the relevant metrics should be that we're looking at these days for a successful agency client relationship.
Uh, I think it depends on the service that you're offering, but I can only really speak to us. So the metrics, I mean, generally, like just having a front conversation, I think is really important with your future customers or your current customers on like their expectations. I think if you're really good at like what you're doing, you should have a good idea of like what is possible and what is not possible. And I think like people, I don't speak to a bunch of other agency owners, so I'm not sure about their business development process. But the way that like we run our business development process is it's pretty rigorous actually. Like we are actually trying to vet out a lot of people
Mhm.
um, because we focus a lot on lifetime value. And so if we do not think that we can meet the metrics that like a client wants, because sometimes they just bring impossible metrics. And I think maybe a lot of people fall in the trap of trying to like appease them. And so if you try not to appease them and you actually set like good metrics up front, most of the time those are revenue metrics. Like most people are coming to agencies generally for revenue metrics, unless like you're an agency specifically like in a technical space, in which case it's like a deliverable. But yeah, open conversation about like what they're doing, and then like actually like hitting that expectation in terms of like you knowing that you can hit it. In terms of like what metrics, I think it just depends on what service you're offering.
So that makes sense to me, and I'm wondering what are some of those red flags in conversation that you see up front that would cause you to screen out a potential relationship? Or because I think part of the challenge is not taking on the business that's not right for your agency, right? Whether
100%.
it's, yeah. So what are do you have any tips about or screening tactics that you use to determine whether it's not a good fit? And how early do you start doing it? Because you can waste a lot of time in the process, as you pointed out.
Oh yeah, I think that you can see the red flags in the contact message. Like actually, so, so you don't even have to talk to them sometimes. Like if someone says like I need this right away, this is going to be easy. Like if they're defaulting to like the assumption of like they already like know better, that's usually like not a good like sign. If they have a small budget that like you can, there's just no way to like execute that work, and or you're gonna like basically squeeze all your margins to try to execute it. Those are red flags. The big ones though are like people who think they know it better than you and they're not actually seeking a partner. So like our best relationships and our longest term relationships, we view each other as partners.
Mhm.
And so we're coming to each other as partners. And so the biggest red flag is just if someone views you as like I don't know, like a lackey or something, like a
Order
like
taker.
a yeah. Because everyone always gets tired of barking orders at someone, right? Someone wants like you want to appear as an equal, you want to be an equal, and that's how the relationship needs to be formed. And if it's not formed at that level, then they almost will never work out.
How do you define sort of the elements of partnership between agency and client? What are the things you're looking for there, to increase the likelihood that it's gonna actually be a partnership versus a vendor type of a relationship?
So I think there's like the upfront way and then the long term way that like I tell our team. So the upfront way is generally they're very open to change. They're very open to listening to what you want to execute on. They're not trying to overly impose like their plan. Or if they like have a very strict plan that they really want to follow, then that gets into like, hey, like we can't, like we don't believe that we can execute what you want plus reach these goals, right? Setting like those expectations.
Mhm.
So usually it's just I'd say like trade openness to like wanting to succeed and have you actually be leading it. Long term, what I tell like our team is my favorite way to determine that we're a true partner with someone is when they bring us an infinite number of problems and problems that are outside, like they view us as a problem solver and not as a like service provider of this thing.
Okay.
uh and so like, and I don't know if this is applicable, but like this is how we measure it. It's like I love when our partner or like our companies that we're working with, they bring us all sorts of random stuff. Like it literally is sometimes legal stuff, and I'm like, we do not do legal stuff like
Mhm.
GDPR and like the California Privacy Act and whether this and this and this. But I'm happy when they view us in that light that they should just like always kind of just bring us a problem,
Mhm.
because then the perception of them working with us is, oh, like we should always go talk to SeedX because they'll always just help us solve our problems. And that's how like I view long-term partnership.
Do you have any internal benchmarks or internal, I don't know, systems or processes for the check-ins that are so important between your agency and its clients to keep those conversations flowing? Because otherwise, you're just waiting for them to, come to you with a problem. Are you intentional or systematic about asking them how their business is going and what other challenges they're facing?
We're generally more systematic in that like the way that our team, like our team again, like is not necessarily focused on delivering a deliverable. Like the I would say like we give away we give away strategy and sell the service.
Mhm.
uh and so people actually retain for the strategy, but they're paying for the service. It's kind of like interesting. And so usually the way that we're structuring like our relationships is like we have like a very strong business development, like business marketing, like tech specialist. They're leading like the project and they're actually thinking about your business beyond just like what the deliverable is. They are thinking comprehensively about should you be on this channel? Like should the sales team be following up like this? Do we need to be doing this? Are we having problems with a data warehouse or a CRM or whatever, right? They're bringing up problems that they think are inhibiting the thing. And so usually when you're having those conversations every week about ways that like you can be improving, like that's like our standard. And then we do like 3 months check-ins, like quarterly check-ins on how things are doing. And usually between those two things, you find a lot of problems.
Okay. Um, I want to pull a thread of what you just said there for a minute because I know you have kind of a strong point of view about the relationship between marketing and sales in a client organization, right? And what sort of increases or reduces the likelihood of success there, and maybe some strong perspective on how they should work together. And so let's talk about that for a minute, because you mentioned sales versus marketing a second ago. And so where do agencies fumble here usually in your experience?
Well, generally, they're like the marketing agencies. Okay. I mean, okay. So my strong point of view is that you cannot do B2B sales and not be involved in like B2B marketing and not be involved in sales. Like I do not think it's possible. Actually, like in order to have like good client success, you have to have really deep understanding of sales. And so most people probably fail because like they want to pass on responsibility to the sales team, and like they actually probably need to lead it a little bit more.
Hmm.
Um, Now, like long, like actual, like tactical, usually it's just defining the responsibilities. Like, what is a marketing like task, right? And like, what is a sales task? Like, does your sales team want to follow up with all of the leads and this cadence, or do you really want marketing to own it all the way to like a closed, like a book call, right, or demo or whatever?
Hmm.
And so most of the time it fails because marketing and sales aren't communicating at all. Like the sales team uses Salesforce, the marketing team uses HubSpot. Maybe they integrate, maybe they don't integrate.
Hmm.
Marketing says MQLs are good. Sales says they all suck. And so generally it's a people problem, actually.
Yep,
That
it is.
uh, yeah. Generally, I find it a people problem, and then I would say actually maybe to like elaborate on that thought more, where people probably actually fail on the marketing side is they don't build enough relationship with the sales team. So like when we have like we're doing like B2B work, we have a marketing contact and a sales contact, and we're usually meeting with both of them.
Hmm.
Uh, and then that helps them feel like they're connected a lot more. And then you're getting the insight from what the marketing team is thinking about, plus you're getting the insight from like how sales are perceiving things as well.
Will you or your agency engage with a client who won't give you access to both sales and marketing when you think that that's necessary to meet the goal?
Yeah, probably not. Like I think the last time that we had it where like we really did not have contact with the sales team, like it was not successful. Because of like these reasons, like they're too divided. Um and so generally like I would say it's hit or miss, but like I would say 90% of the time, like the mass majority of the time, like we are definitely integrating into both systems.
Okay. How do you how do you mediate between those two functions within an organization? Because a lot of times it seems to me from the outside looking in that there's just no willingness for the accountability of one to the other, and that's usually where things start to break down, and it always bounces back onto the agency because the agency can't meet its performance metrics because it's set up to fail from the beginning because the two functions will not talk to each other. So how do you intervene there and smooth that pathway?
I think this gets into like a lot of the precursory work, which is uh okay, like if a client is coming into us, like generally we have like a good idea of like what strategies like we think that they should be implementing based on their target market, their audience, like the audience size, the sales cycles. We're really talking about B2B, but this is the same on consumer as well. And uh yeah, like if you start to propose a strategy and they're like, yeah, sales is never gonna get on board with this, right? Like I'm like, well, we don't have any more strategies. Like
Yeah.
and yeah, I think again for us, we aren't actually very sales hungry. We're much more like client retention. And so like our two like core value like metrics that like I push our team a lot are like client satisfaction based on retention and then contract expansion.
Okay.
And so, yeah, like we actually aim to like view our revenue as like is net recurring revenue expanding, right? Like our current retaining like revenue, is it expanding or is it shrinking, right? So
Mhm.
even if we have like a client lose, like do we have another client expanding? Um, and these are really important. And then if you start to think about it, like I'm gonna work with this partner for ever, right? Like a good relationship, like we have relationships that are like 8 years old now,
Mhm.
and like we just keep expanding. like
Yeah.
it, it,
Was that an
and
evolution
yeah,
for you as an agency owner, thinking about the lifetime value of the client versus the value of a specific scope of work or contract one at a time?
um Obviously, yes. I can't like maybe pinpoint. I have to think for a second to pinpoint if it was like a very specific thing. It just kind of occurred naturally that I don't know. Maybe it's something in like how we. I've always thought like if you give 51 and you take 49, it always pays off.
Hmm.
Uh, like I don't know why I always tell our team I'm like, yeah, just give a little extra, like it's fine, like we lose an hour or two or like whatever, you lose a little margin, but then the contract always expands and they always retain, and it's much harder to get more clients than it is to retain the current ones and expand contract. um and so I don't know actually, like I really don't know like why we got to that spot, but it's the one that I think like makes the most stable business.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is a very entrepreneurially mature way of thinking about it, as long as it's a business model that works and pays off. But I know that a lot of agency owners, not to say they're not entrepreneurially mature, because in many cases they've run their agencies for a really long time, but there's a lot of maybe shorter term thinking, um, under the pressures of, payroll and slower sales cycles. And there's lots of other headwinds right now in the agency world that are giving a lot of heartburn to agency owners. And I think they're not looking maybe as far into the future in terms of the possibilities. And that makes it hard to think about the lifetime value of a relationship versus getting that next project signed or that next retainer payment in.
Yeah, I think maybe like I was like how this happened was we originally started with like only technical work.
Okay.
Uh and I realized I was like technical work really sucks because it's like project based, you don't know when the next project's going to come in, this thing's going to happen, this thing, like you have cash flow issues because like oh like we have this receivable but now it's delayed, and oh the client's delaying a milestone, and like oh man there's like so many issues when you get into like pure project based, and that's why it's hard to maybe speak to like these like generalities of agencies, because if you're like I would tell an agency like if you're only doing projects you should probably figure out how to do recurring, like
Hmm.
100%, like figure out how to get recurring revenue because you will have a much more stable happy life. And anyway, so we had this like giant cash flow like problem, not giant, it was like it was giant at the time, it's like tiny.
Significant, yeah.
Yeah, I think about it all the time, I'm like I was so stressed about it, and now like that was such a small sum of money that I was stressed about like 7 years ago.
Mm.
And that's when I shifted. I was like, yeah, like we have this client, they love working with us. We really need to figure out services that like actually help us retain the relationship for a longer period of time.
Okay.
Um, and that was yeah, like once having like cash flow issues, I was like, I hate this. Like I cannot stomach like and I didn't understand finances at the time. Like I understand finances like at the time, like much better now. But yeah,
Right.
like I didn't understand like, oh, it's not a big deal to get a loan and you should have working capital and like all these things that I just had no idea about.
Mm.
Um, and so yeah, like that was actually how like we really developed into like we should think about this. And then the next stage was like not only should they retain, we should figure out like we're doing a good job when they're expanding.
Right. What's your point of view on performance pricing for agencies? I mean, as you've grown and as you've switched your focus sort of to lifetime value between the agency and the client, do you have a point of view regarding sort of sharing in the success or basing any part of your compensation on performance?
Okay, so I think that it's a hard one because if you're only working with small companies where like the performance is very defined, maybe it's possible. But eventually then you're going to get to a size where they're paying you too much and you lose the relationship because it's like, well, I don't want to pay you this much, right?
Mhm.
And so like, is it better to have a long, stable relationship where like you're not maximizing like that margin? Or is it
Mhm.
better to maximize like and I don't really actually know the answer to this because it's an LTV question, which is like, do you get more like lifetime revenue by maximizing the performance in that short period of time? Or do you get more lifetime revenue by not maximizing it and actually having a long duration?
Mhm.
And
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. I would like us to move more into like a private equity model, and we've been like exploring this, but we personally haven't like had a lot of our work based off of, I mean, it's performance and we have to perform or we are not retained. But
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
yeah, but it's not performance in that like yeah, like we reduced the cost per lead by like 200%, like recently. And I'm like, yeah, great. I think you guys get more leads. Like,
Right, right.
you paid us this cost, and we're going to keep doing that cost, and we're going to keep trying to improve and move you guys in the right directions. And yeah, I guess that gets into like the 51, like 49%, which is they're really happy. And guess what? Now they're buying more stuff. And
Well, I mean, I respect the long-term thinking. I mean, you're obviously, I mean, it's not obvious to the people who are just listening, but you're obviously a young guy, and not all people who are as early in their career running an agency take the long view of it, right? And also, the agency business can be pretty short-term game focused, right? Pretty immediate. It moves very quickly, and it's not always easy to take the long view. And so, no, I totally respect that.
yeah,
What
I think a
is,
lot of agencies, oh, sorry.
no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like I think one problem maybe like a lot of agency people feel is like they feel like it's a stepping stone business. I don't know. I see this a lot. They're like, oh, I don't
Okay.
know, I'm gonna do this and then maybe I'm gonna do something else and or they're just thinking about it as there's two traps that I think people fall in. That one, and then I see a lot of people fall into I'm a really great like specialist and I'm just like learning how to maximize my time and like being a principal and instead of like maximizing the business time.
Hmm.
I don't know if like I see this a lot. Like
Yeah.
people like not being able to scale to like the next stage because they're stuck as like a really great individual contributor.
Well, I do think a lot of agencies have to make decisions about whether to focus on scaling outside, off of the shoulders of the agency founder. Because the truth is, a lot of independent agencies have been built on the backs of the reputation of the founder. That founder has got, uh, you know, thought leadership in a specific area or relationships in a specific area, and eventually you get to a level where if you want to continue to scale, then you have to maximize the assets and talents of other people, right? Because there's only so many, unless you want to grow just based on your IP and productize everything. It is so there's lots of choices to be made along the way, and they're not all quick plays. Some of them are very long games, right? And
100%.
not everybody wants to wait them out. So it is an interesting industry in that way. And there's no right cocktail, I don't think, for it, but I think you do have to be intentional about the path that you pick, don't you think?
Yeah, built a specific type of business. Like if you want one type of business, right, where it's like you can do 1 million in revenue and you can just be like a solo founder with a small team of like 5 people or something, right?
Right.
And then if you want to do 10 million or 100 million, like these are totally different games that you're playing.
Yeah.
And it's a lot easier to play. Like if you know what game you're playing, right? Then you'll start to do the right things earlier.
Right. Yeah, agreed. So I know that we started, and I wanted to get back to it for a minute because I'm curious about sort of the immediacy of this. So it's mid 2025 as we're talking right now, and are you seeing any difference from your clients in terms of the things they want to measure or the metrics that they think are important to evaluate the relationship with you or the agency's performance? Are they shifting? Are they changing?
No, in general, no. I actually wish they would shift more
To what?
and be
Shift
more
out.
nuanced. I mean, it's pretty easy. Like I guess like if I had to break it up, so we half of our business is B2B and half of it does consumer. Uh, and so on the B2B side, it's like usually you're just measured on the cost per qualified like opportunity that's coming in. And that's probably a pretty good one. I don't know if that one really needs to shift, at least for us. Like it doesn't need to shift. Like you're bringing in a high quality opportunity, you have that cost, it turns into some type of deal revenue, and you're measured on that. I feel like that's still pretty fair. The consumer side, I actually think is more nuanced because the mix of media like actually creates like a lot of like up and down. And so if they want to measure you just on like total revenue, right? They're like, well, I don't know, I'm spending 1 million here, but organic went down and this thing happened. And I try to get people on the consumer side or our teams talking a lot more on like incremental revenue. How are we measuring like that difference in revenue? Even if this happened, how do we know like these different things? And on the consumer side, I think that there should be a lot more nuance and measurement. Um, and but still, I mean, I like to be held to business goals. So like
Mhm.
I don't like to be held to like non-business goals. Actually, like my least favorite services we offer are like ones where they're not as like uh definitive in
Mhm.
what you're actually achieving, like social media, you're getting impressions. Like it's like,
Yeah.
oh, this got a million impressions, and the people are like, oh, great. Like,
Yeah.
did this do anything for the
Yeah.
business? I'm
Where
like, no,
where
I'm
are the
glad it.
dollars in our bank account? Yeah, associated with those. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, so I like doing those, like, and we get good results, but like it's much more tangible, like when revenue is going up. So I like to be involved in projects where like we're much closer aligned to like revenue or like business goals than like we delivered X amount of videos or something.
Okay.
It's like, yeah,
Do you see your clients shifting in that way, or is are they pretty entrenched in the way they've always measured the success of
I
a
think
relationship?
I don't know if they've changed because like we're only looking for clients that want to partner in that way. So
Mhm.
like we established the relationship like with that type of like forefront, and so revenue growing is like never usually changing.
Mhm.
Like
Right.
most people want revenue to go up and to the right, right? Like
Yeah.
and so we generally are trying to start there. And so yeah, I guess the answer is no. I don't know. Do other people feel that like they're changing a lot?
I don't know. I mean, well, I don't know is the truth. And what I think is that the conversations don't happen often enough. And what I also think is that it's the absence of the conversation, which I think is a fear-based decision on everybody's part, right? Because everybody wants to leave as much runway for an exit from the relationship as possible in the current environment. Um, so they're not being specific, right? And then there's a much higher likelihood of a disconnect between how the client thinks about the success of the work that the agency does and how the agency thinks that they are being measured or should be measured. Um, that's not new, and I also don't see it getting any different. What maybe is different and better is that the measuring tools are more abundant and the data is easier to own now than it was even a couple of years ago. Um, so math is math, right? And as long as you're, but you got to agree on which numbers are going to tell the story. And if you don't agree on which numbers are going to tell the story, then math, I guess, is not always math, right?
Well, different strategies produce different results. Like a real
Yeah.
tactical example was I was just talking to like in our account, like one of our account teams before, like I got on this call, and like the client, like both simultaneously wants to grow new customers, but also grow revenue. And I'm like, okay, but which one do you want to actually measure us against? Because if we acquire more new customers, right, like that's going to go up, but the cost to acquire new customers is significantly more expensive than if we were driving money like to like the middle or bottom of the funnel.
Right.
And so it's like, like there's some balance of this because like you need some increasing amount of new customers to grow revenue. But like if you just want us to maximize revenue in the short term, like we can just drive it down here. And
Mm.
even like in clients where we have good relationships, sometimes they're switching the goals on us. And I'm like, I guess that does happen a lot. Like people switching the goal sometimes. I'm like, hey, like you said this, like, do you want this or do you want this? Because like the
Yeah.
whole strategy that we're doing is this right now. If you don't want that, we have to change the strategy to this.
Right.
And I guess like that's again, I think like some of the most important parts of like our organization are like the people, our client facing roles. And
Right.
like I think maybe a big problem with agencies is they don't realize like the person who's interacting with the client probably needs to be the highest paid individual. They need to be, I think a lot of people like put the account managers as like some middle level people because it's really hard to train these people. But
Mhm.
actually, like, you need really smart people there because this stuff happens all the time. And if you don't have like a pretty smart, like high functioning individual who understands the nuances, like they get rolled over.
Right. Right. Well, yes, and there's two parts to that, right? It's being savvy enough to see when the ball's being moved, because the client's not always going to tell you they're moving the ball, right?
Oh yeah, they're not
If
even thinking
ever.
about it.
So savvy enough to notice when the ball is being moved and then also confident enough to call it out or have that resetting of expectations conversation that needs to happen so that the agency doesn't get slapped with, a non-renewal, because that you didn't help us meet the goals that were important to us. Well, okay, but you
Yeah,
you
you change the
you
goals.
changed the goal midway, and we didn't really have a conversation around that. So, as we're talking through this, it doesn't sound like there's anything new under the sun here in terms of a mismatch between agency and client expectations, which I guess is kind of reassuring in some ways because everything else in the agency business is changing right now. Um, which is a good segue into what do you see over the next 18 months? How do you see things getting different in the work that you do or in the way that you serve your clients?
The work that we do or the way that we serve our clients. I think the way not in terms of what our clients see, nothing's really changing. In terms of how we're delivering it, we're trying to like improve like internally processes.
Mhm.
Uh, so yeah, like the biggest change. I mean, I really think like automation and AI and LLMs like are actually like a big deal to the agency space because I think that margins can greatly expand. I think there's two things that's going to happen. Like there's going to be a whole death of agencies that like AI basically collapses their job. And then I think there's going to be like another one, like another set, like hopefully that like are more focused. And this has happened already in the accounting world. Like we work with an accounting, like a large accounting firm, and like QuickBooks and like all these like simple like accounting tools have like really actually like reduced the agency space and like the mid market, like or the accounting space in the mid market segment. And I think the same thing is going to happen where like this company switched to more strategic work with and less execution work. And I think that's probably going to happen in the agency space too. Like the strategic partners are going to like maintain plus like operationalize and charge smaller amounts, but maybe higher margins on the operational parts. And then strategy will always continue to be strategy. And so probably like death, that's probably bad news for a lot of people, but they should think about it. Like, are you delivering a service that's going to be greatly reduced in price? Are you overstaffed for that? Will like these functions be pulled internally because of like the changing like work environment? I see like a lot of like things actually being pulled internally. Even more like the creative agency space is super interesting to me because again, like the people who are like thinking like, oh, well, I have like these really great creative ideas, they're always gonna have work. But like the ones who are just like doing videography or like really just execution work, like I see that getting reduced more and more. Even us, like we used to work with more creative agencies, and with like AI tools, I'm like, yeah, you can actually get like a pretty great picture or video and like edit it together like this. And now we did not need a creative agency.
Mhm.
And that has for sure like if we're experiencing that and you times that across like every other person that partners with creative agency, like that's probably a big reduction in work.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I do think that the agencies who do well moving forward are going to be the ones who are focused on strategy and thinking versus getting paid for the producing and the doing. Um, I think that's gonna be painful in the short term for some agencies who are gonna have to make a big transition to, because agencies are extremely shy about monetizing their ideas and their strategy. They've always kind of given it away on the promise of getting paid for their doing and their producing, right? And now that that dynamic is changing, um, you're gonna have to monetize what agencies really enjoy doing more, which is the thinking and the planning and the ideation. Um, they're just gonna have to figure out how to price it and how to monetize it because 'cause they're not used to charging for it, um, at a rate that reflects its true value in my view. As an IP nerd, that's where I'm always seeing the value. So it will be a transition, I agree, for lots of agencies who are not used to going to market that way. So we'll have to see, right?
Yeah, I think as long as you have strategy in your work, I actually am hopeful for the agency space in that I think that I imagine a future where inflation is going to keep like raising. And if you actually don't have to raise prices, or you can fight to lower prices and have
Mhm.
higher margins at the same time, they're going to keep your strategic work plus a lower cost of execution because
Yeah.
they're also not going like even if you adopt like all these AI tools, you still need people at like the start and the end to put in good ideas, verify the ideas.
All right.
Um, and so like I actually think, and we've experienced like margin expansion because I was like, we can do more with our current team already.
Mhm.
And and so yeah, like I would push the agency owners even more to move into the AI space than any other industry
Yeah.
because they're going to be the ones that experience like the contraction of margin like they can either have a great margin or they're going to get like cut like
Yeah. Well, I agree. I think that there's a terrific window of opportunity for agencies to be leaders and teachers to their clients too. Because the truth is, agencies are more nimble than in most cases their clients are in terms of the ability to adapt to AI and the possibilities that it creates for, efficiency and scale and things like that. And the clients are hungry for this. They don't really they're not as far along the innovation pathway to be able to do it themselves, and agencies are in a great position to be teachers and, innovators around it, so I'm optimistic as well. I think that there'll be some short-term pain, I think, for some in the industry, but I think the ones who really use to learn to leverage and harness it to, as you indicated, expand margins, focus more on the thinking and the strategic abilities that they bring to the table, it's going to be a great thing for those folks who can focus there.
100%. Yeah, like if you're only doing execution, be worried.
There you go. There's the mic drop right there, everybody. Justin Rashidi from SeedX. This was a great conversation. I really appreciate you making the time to talk with me today. How do folks find out more about what SeedX do and how do they get in touch with you guys?
Yeah, they can just visit us at our website at seedx.us, or they can message us on LinkedIn.
Okay. All right, wonderful. Thanks so much for joining me today, Justin, and thanks the rest of you for being with us again today too. Until we see you on the next episode, everybody stay well. Take care.